Archimedes claimed that with a long enough lever and a fulcrum to place it on, he could move the world. Applied to a career, that same mechanical principle becomes a method to multiply your output. You stop applying blunt force to a problem and instead use a mechanism to generate wealth while freeing your time. Most of us are trained for the expertise path. You start at the foundation of labor, where your income is strictly tied to the hours you work. It is a linear exchange. 40 hours of effort equals 40 hours of pay. If you stop showing up, the money stops flowing. When fleas are placed in a jar with a lid, they quickly learn to stop jumping just before they hit the glass. Even when the lid is removed, the fleas continue to stop at that same invisible threshold. They've been conditioned. A monthly salary often acts as a similar psychological lid. Nassim Taleb compares it to a slow-release carbohydrate that provides just enough predictability to create a dependency, eventually killing the urge to jump higher. We become conditioned to accept a strict cap on our growth. Seeking safety in a predictable hourly wage inherently limits your autonomy and flatlines your financial trajectory. To break that conditioning, people typically transition to the second level of leverage, specific knowledge. You acquire rare, highly compounding skills and become an irreplaceable expert, a surgeon, a specialized consultant, or a domain leader who solves problems others cannot. Your hourly rate now commands a premium, but the trade remains one-to-one. You are still the primary engine of the work, physically tethered to the execution of every project you take on. Whether you charge $20 an hour or $2,000, you eventually hit an inescapable mathematical ceiling. You only have 24 hours in a day. Working harder or becoming smarter on a linear path will never decouple your time from your income. Escaping that limit requires an entirely new mechanism. Execute a cognitive pivot. Stop operating as the grinder, executing daily tasks, and step back to become the architect, designing the overall system. This brings us to the third level of leverage, systems. By integrating people, data, and technology, you package your expertise into a machine that functions whether you are physically in the room or not. This pyramid models the professional services ratio. At the top, finders generate opportunities and manage clients. Below them, minders coordinate daily workflows, freeing seniors from friction. Finally, at the wide base, grinders, junior staff, or AI tools execute the technical work. By optimizing this specific ratio and delegating procedural tasks downward, the architect increases the total profit of the system without adding a single personal labor hour. Once a system is built, you can scale it using the fourth level of leverage, media and code. These are permissionless multipliers. You need no approval to write new software or publish a video, working while you sleep. These digital assets operate on a model of zero marginal cost. While the first copy of a product requires significant effort to produce, the 10,000th copy can be replicated and distributed for practically nothing. Metcalfe's law dictates a network's value is proportional to the square of its users. 10 users create a baseline value of 100, but as the network expands to 100 users, connections become dense and value explodes to 10,000, creating natural monopolies. Code and media enable you to extract massive, exponential value from a single, one-time creative effort, functioning as the ultimate levers of the modern economy. The wealth generated by those multipliers leads directly to the fifth level, capital. This is the most clinical mechanism on the roadmap, utilizing borrowed or pooled money to multiply your financial returns. Comparing two identical $1 million companies shows financial leverage. Company A operates conservatively with equity. Company B is highly leveraged with debt. When both grow 20%, Company B's use of borrowed money radically magnifies the return on its smaller equity pool. But that extreme growth carries a dual-edged risk. If profits decline, the debt remains. Managing this level of leverage requires immense patience, avoiding the temptation to panic sell or inflate your personal lifestyle, which starves the compounding cycle. Capital leverage turns money itself into a working mechanism. It vastly accelerates your wealth, provided you maintain strict risk management. At the very top of the hierarchy is ownership. You reach ultimate autonomy by holding assets, business equity, intellectual property, or automated real estate portfolios that earn revenue 24 hours a day. Operating here requires the ownership mindset. Your role shifts entirely away from technical execution. You provide the clarity, define the metrics, and align the technology with the organizational mission so your domain leaders can solve problems independently. This is the absolute pinnacle of the roadmap. Your income generation is now 100% independent of your physical effort. These 6 levels operate as compounding layers. You use your specific knowledge to build systems. You scale those systems with code. You fund them with capital and protect the resulting wealth through true ownership. But there is a vital caveat known as the Hercules warning. Leverage is entirely blind. It is a mechanical tool that only amplifies what already exists, and it cannot substitute for your own character. As you scale, the weight of the wealth and influence you generate becomes heavier. Sustaining massive leverage requires immense foundational integrity and leadership to bear that pressure without collapsing. Look at the roadmap and identify exactly which level you are stuck on today. Build your foundation and choose your next amplifier.